Hello, my name is Georganne with the Alpha Center for Divorce Mediation, as many of you know. And today, as our guest, we have back Debbie Schneider, one of our mediating attorneys. And Debbie, today you're going to talk about selling our homes during a divorce or in a divorce situation.
Right.
So we appreciate any tips you can give us because it sounds like some new ideas have come up.
I have. It's always a big topic for divorcing couples, Georganne. For many couples, they walk in and we look at their assets and their liabilities. And for many couples, the most substantial, largest asset they have is their marital residence. So decide, if it's going to be kept or if it needs to be sold is a big question. And so we often devote a lot of time in our mediation sessions with making that decision and helping couples arrive at that, what makes the most sense for them. So the first issue is, deciding if it's going to be sold. And if it does need to be sold, then what's the first step involved in making that decision?
I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
Would you say that usually the decision to sell a lot of times is because we can't afford, one person can't afford to buy the other person out? Is that why?
That's often the consideration, right? That the couple makes. But there's lots of other reasons too. I mean, sometimes both parties just want to relocate. They don't want to stay in the marital residence. And sometimes, particularly in the instance in which they have a sizable home, it's too much house, and it's another facet of it being too expensive. So if they have a $600,000 house, maybe what they need to do is sell that $600,000 house and buy two $300,000 houses, and then make that ever important transition to two households, which is so central to most divorces. So the first decision is, does it need to be sold? And then what I want my couples to focus on really is the selection of a realtor. Now, in some instances, that realtor, they have somebody in mind, and that may be the realtor that sold them the house, in which case that's often a really good choice. Obviously, that person knows the couple and knows the house. So that's often a very good choice. But most of the time, people need to pick a new realtor. So I always recommend that my couples sit down with three and interview three different people. And how they find those people is really up to them. I mean, neighborhood referrals, your neighbors can tell you, neighborhood signage. So if there's property in your area that's on the market, look and see whose name is on those signs. That's often a good way to have a referral. And the Alpha Center maintains a professional directory on our website, or through our attorneys, actually. Now, we used to have it on the website, but now we do it on a personal one-to-one basis. But we have a whole number of professionals, including realtors, who can assist our couples in if they want to choose one of those people, or that would be one of those people. That person can send them to someone who is a good choice for them, someone closer to their area.
I'm thinking that if it was a realtor that, if we still knew that realtor back when we bought the house, we both had trust there.
Right.
But I like the fact that you also have at the Alpha Center can refer people.
Right. We can. And all of our people that we refer to, obviously, are people that we like, we trust, we vetted them. So it's a good resource for many professional services, not just realtors. And there is a new emerging specialty within realty, and that is getting a certification for working with divorcing couples. So that is something that a couple might want to explore, and I would encourage them to do that. So when they interview, I just say to my couples, when they have the interviews with the three realtors, be completely honest with them. Tell them that you're in a process of a divorce. Make sure that the realtor understands that this is a somewhat unique situation, and that they need to keep both parties in the communication loop, both parties need to be involved, and certainly both parties need to be there when anything is done, any discussions are take place about the property itself. So once they've selected a realtor, then my advice is to just turn to that realtor for most advice about the house. Obviously, one of the biggest considerations most of the time, it's the condition of the house. Is it ready to be sold, right? And this can take on a lot of different avenues. You know, what I always caution against is doing something that is too much. You know, doing a renovation or a project that is not necessarily necessary. You know, it may be somewhat frivolous, would be someone's way of describing it. But
So the realtor would help with that. That's the advisor.
Absolutely, absolutely. A good realtor is going to know all those things and can give them really quality advice. And I think, you know, there's kind of two levels of improvement. There's what we call capital improvements. And those are things that restore the house more or less to its original condition and are considered to be, quote, permanent. So those things would include a new roof, a new heating, air conditioning system, a new
Big things.
right, big things, a new septic. You know, if the septic is worn out or not working properly anymore, you may need to get a new septic. You may need a new well if you live sort of outside of the city limits of the local township. So there's lots of different considerations for those expenditures. And then the second level of improvements is the more cosmetic ones. So those would be a new painting the house on the inside, recarpeting, or at least cleaning the carpets that are presently on the floor. And those things are can really make a difference and are very important. But again, the realtor should be able to advise about that. And often my couples also mention to me that their house needs to be decluttered. The first thing they'll say to me is when we decide to sell the house, they'll say, oh, there's so much stuff we need to get rid of. And my recommendation for that, again, is to hire help. There's a lot of people out there who created businesses, very successful businesses, in helping you declutter, carrying away your junk, the stuff you no longer want or need. And particularly if you're looking to downsize, that's really, really, really critical to get rid of some of that stuff. So I know that my couples who have used professionals have really been happy and are happy they did so.
Yeah, I've heard the same, because you collect so much over the years and there's so much stress with the divorce.
Right. I mean, it's a daunting prospect to declutter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good time to hire yourself some help.
Right.
And most of my clients do really well. What we encourage is that, you know, we work out in mediation with their attorney mediator what they really want to do with the house. And so what's really critical before they start this is an agreement and the ability to really be on the same page with regard to the decisions they're making.
Right. You know, I'm just thinking how important that trust issue is, to feel like the person, whoever that realtor is not impartial in any way.
Right.
Both feel comfortable
I mean,
about that.
right. It's almost an extension of our philosophy in mediation, which is we all work under a neutral model. And so that realtor really needs to be neutral too. And I think when the couple interview the realtors to hire them, it's important, again, for that honesty piece to be there. You know, we're getting a divorce. We both need your attention and your assistance in this process.
Right. You know, one of the things I like about the Alpha Center is, just in hearing you talk, and I know this myself, is you do have this directory. You do have some people you highly recommend that you can suggest as part of the mediation process. And that's a trust issue for us.
Right. And it is. I mean, just hiring somebody random, you know, you always wonder if you're getting the best person. So there's a lot to be said for seeking out someone's recommendation. And we have all kinds of people on our resource list. We have those people who can help you declutter. We have, if you have personal property that you would like to dispose of, but it may be valuable, then we can assist you with finding someone who can do an appraisal for that personal property.
That's really helpful.
I had a couple who had a very large and valuable doll collection and a very large and valuable train collection. So we had to hire a special person to do appraisals for those particular collectible kinds of items. So there's all kinds of people out there. There's we have home improvement people. We have painters, local painters who can help you with either the inside of your house or the outside of your house, either one or both if need be.
So we can walk away with as many resources as we need from this center.
Exactly. And we certainly have mortgage people and banking people. And most of the time, the realtors will assist you with that as well. They're going to be able to direct you kind of where the good offers and help might be out there.
Well, Debbie, I could really see the value of having someone that specializes in divorced couples, just because there's so many reasons why that sale cannot happen.
Right.
But if in fact everybody's on board with the same goal in mind to get the most
for the couple, right? We don't want to delay. Once that decision is made, we really want to take the steps necessary to get them through that process. And the more quickly and efficiently that can be done, the more they will be able to focus on their future lives. And that's our whole focus at the Office Center.
Right. Very helpful. Anything else you want to add to this that we should know about?
I don't believe so. I mean, I think, we've sort of covered all aspects of this issue. I mean, certainly there are some considerations. There's some tax considerations, but those, in terms of improvements you make to the house, but those are the kinds of things you really need to discuss with a tax professional. Either one of our, if you're one of our mediated couples, you'll have that opportunity with one of our CPAs.
Right.
Or, seeking out your own personal.
Right. So resources, if we want them, if we don't, if we have our own, that's supported as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And very helpful tips for us just to even learn about people are specializing in these divorce sales.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming back to us and all the work that you do at the center. And we hope to have you back soon.
Thank you, Georganne.
Any of you that have questions for Debbie about this topic or any of the topics she covers or anything having to do with the mediation process, please call us at 1-800-310-9085.